Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. We are in January, and in the next few weeks, children will be going back to school. And already, the government has shown very clear intentions of increasing school fee. So parents might dig deeper into their pockets to make sure their children will be in school. And as that is happening, about 2 days ago, the government through CS Chelugui announced that 12 billion Kenya shillings had been disbursed through the Hustlers Fund, out of which 4.7 billion has been repaid. So about 8 billion Kenya shillings has not been repaid. And the CS had this to say while reporting that, going further, the CS highlighted that key milestones have been recorded 1 month after Hustler Fund was launched. He said shillings 12 billion had been disbursed according to data as of December 30, 2022. Out of the 12 billion, borrowers had repaid shillings 4.7 billion, translating to about 40%, Chelugui said. Yes. So 12 billion shillings, about 12 billion has been disbursed. According to Chelugui, 4.7 has been repaid. So about 8 billion has not been repaid. And if you look at it objectively or keenly, it might be possible that the government might be trying to save face here. It's highly possible that the amount that has been repaid might be far much less than what Chelugui is reporting. It might be possible that over 80% or even 90% of Kenyans have not repaid the Hustlers Fund. The government might be trying to save face here to create an impression that Kenyans are repaying back the money. But in this video, I want us to dwell more, or rather to do some comparisons here. In the year 2022, Uhuru Kenyatta's government disbursed about 17 billion Kenya shillings to primary schools and to secondary schools. That was capitation amount. And in less than 1 month, we are seeing William Ruto's government has already disbursed about 12 billion Kenya shillings to Kenyans. 12 billion Kenya shillings has been disbursed to Kenyans. And we are seeing millions of Kenyans have not repaid back the amount, because we are being told again that 17.5 million Kenyans have borrowed. Out of the 17 million Kenyans, about 10 million or over 10 million Kenyans have not repaid the funds. And the government has also announced that for those who will fail to pay, their hustler accounts will be frozen. That means they will not be able to access Hustlers Fund. Besides that, they will still be in debt. And again, the same government has shown clearly that school fee might go up. I want us to dig deep into this story, and I'll just explain why I believe William Ruto's government has got its priorities completely wrong. Why is William Ruto's government throwing away 12 billion Kenya shillings, and then the same government intends on withdrawing the about 17 billion Kenya shillings that the previous governments have been disbursing to primary and secondary schools. Let's dig deep into this story, but in case you are watching us, but you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. So in less than 1 month, the government has disbursed about 12 billion Kenya shillings, out of which 8 billion has not been repaid. And it's almost very certain that as time goes by, defaulters on Hustlers Fund will be more and more. And I'm seeing a very high possibility where eventually all these amounts of money the government is disbursing through the Hustlers Fund, it will reach a point the whole Hustler scheme or the whole fund might collapse, in that a good majority of Kenyans will be defaulting. And the reason is simple. This fund, in my honest opinion, cannot sustain or start any meaningful business. In fact, Kenyans who have been borrowing this money, I don't think they are borrowing it for businesses. Maybe they're just borrowing the amount as a consumption amount, a consumption kind of a grant or a token. They are not borrowing it to start proper businesses. And that's why millions of Kenyans are yet to repay the funds. So in the event the government goes again to freeze their accounts, then those Kenyans, besides the fact that they cannot access the funds, they'll also be in debt. And that will just add to their economic miseries. So we are seeing a government that is clearly having its priorities completely wrong. In the year 2022, Uhuru Kenyatta's government disbursed about 17 billion Kenya shillings as capitation amount to both primary and secondary schools. And that's something that was really helping parents in making sure their children are in school. We are now seeing a government intending on withdrawing that support. And at the same time, that government is throwing away billions of Kenya shillings in form of tokens. That's what I consider a government having its priorities completely wrong. Ruto's government has got its priorities wrong. Instead of wasting money, throwing money to hustlers, money that cannot even be accounted, they also have channeled this money to the right people, or rather in the right areas, to the right areas. And capitation, or rather schools, could have been the best avenue for this Hustlers Fund we are seeing just being thrown aimlessly to Kenyans. Secondly, William Ruto's government came to power on the platform of handouts and tokenism. That's exactly the principle William Ruto is using even now that he's the president. All this Hustlers Fund, the aim and intention is to make Kenyans be dependent on the government, or to make Kenyans feel and believe this government cares about them. But the truth of the matter, as time goes by, Kenyans will be more disparate and in serious economic mess than they were before they accessed the Hustlers Funds. And this is why I personally believe that any Kenyan who might be in a position to do without the Hustlers Fund, don't waste your time going for the funds. Because actually, the truth of the matter, you'll go for the funds, you'll not put them into proper use, because the amount you are talking about is very little amount of money. the time for you to repay the funds again is only 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks. So you'll just end up actually piling more debts. That's why I believe these funds are not living up to the expectations. William Ruto's government clearly has got its priorities completely wrong. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. To our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. Any person who wants to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel your support to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis.